Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my April 2019 horoscope report for you, where I will give you the need-to-knows for your sign, as well as talk extensively about the general transit energies, the conflicts between them, where they're rolling together, and how you can best use this knowledge of the energies to have the most graceful, productive month possible. Definitely go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, where you can check out my blog. Among other things, I have every month things about the new moon, the full moon, and how best to use those wonderful energies, and lots of other things there. If you'd like to book a live reading or sign up for my astrology apprenticeship program, you can also do that at anniehelpsyou.com. Definitely check out my new book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days, which is an Amazon bestseller. So what's going on this month for you? I'm going to show you the charts that I used to figure out the information that's most important for you. I'll show you in detail for the early, middle, and late degree placements, what you can expect for this month, important themes, and best ways to use the energy. Then we'll transition back to talk about the general transits, and I'll give you the dates to note and all kinds of other things you need to know for this month. Hi, Taurus friends. Happy April 2019, and happy almost birthday for you all. Starting at the end of April, we're going to have our early born Taurus placements have their birthdays, and then coming soon for the rest of you. So, and this is actually a time of rebirth and regeneration and renewal, even if you're watching for your moon sign or your rising sign, because when the sun crosses over those points in the chart, there is a similar type of rebirth energy. But before that happens, we have a massive crowding of energy in the 12th house. Okay, so the chart, and I'll show you these charts after, just so you have the visuals, but so basically when the sun moves into the first house or crosses over that line of whatever your placement is, then it starts to accentuate the first house energies, which is where the rebirth is. It's your physical body, it's your image, it's, you know, starting a whole brand new cycle. But before it gets there, the weeks before, all of the personal planets, and you all even have some long-term energies that have been brewing there for a long time. There's this massive amount of energy in the 12th house. And that makes people feel very uncomfortable because the 12th house is the unconscious mind. It's the place where we sweep things under the rug. I call it the attic, or you could call it the basement. You know, it's like that place where there are hidden treasures, but there's also like a bunch of crap that you don't need, and your fears and addictions and worries and karma and, you know, genetic memory and all of this, for better or worse, is housed in these places. So when the planets start accentuating and stirring up in that space, it gets very uncomfortable. So if you notice that you get more anxious, more edgy, more stressed before your birthday, it's probably not because you're getting older. We associate this energy with, oh, we're getting older, so now we're stressed and weird about it, right? But it's not what it is. Well, it's also that, but that's secondary. What it is this 12th house being brought up in a big way. So this is a place where you can slay your dragons, you can find these hidden treasures, but the more present you are with it, the better. Okay, Taurus people will tend to work away their stress, and in general that can be very productive, and it can be definitely better than some of the other ways of dealing with the anxiety. But the more you can be present with it and actually do inner work, so I always recommend things like hypnosis, past life regression, psychotherapy of any kind, EMDR, trauma clearing therapies, EFT, emotional freedom technique, which you can find free stuff online. Any inner work that you can do in the time before your birthday is very, very helpful, not only to clear this energy, but also to best use the energy. And ultimately, it's going to be about your birthday wishes and the creation of your new year. Birthday wishes are real, they're astrologically based, and you do get a sense of this redirection of what you're doing with your life, even for the rising and moon sign. So in order to get a clear picture of what you want, Spirit doses you with the things you don't want, with the things that aren't working, so that you can see more clearly what you want based on the things that you don't want. And that's what this cycle is about. So this month is very full of that energy. For the early degree placements and coming soon for the middle and late degree placements, there's this fierce focus on work, on money. Well, work as it relates to money, not really the work itself, but the money aspect of work. And values and getting your priorities in order and just getting your finances in order. So there'll be a strong focus on making money, managing money, and anything having to do with the material realm. Alternatively, I've seen this come up with like eco consciousness. You know, so the same thing, that the energy that rules the material plane and finances also rules the earth, you know, the actual earth, and living in sync with the earth. So you might see feeling really gung-ho about getting more environmentally focused and living in sync with nature and the earth. For you early degree placements, you have crazy crossroads. Now this is coming for the rest of you down the line, but there's this theme where Uranus is on the first house cusp and Pluto is lurking around the 10th house cusp. So these aspects of your life that have to do with yourself, your image, it's under a massive amount of pressure. Your physical body's under a massive amount of pressure. And just like redefining who you are and what you're doing, also this puts a lot of pressure on home and family as the changes are occurring, and it kicks challenging angles to your relationship space. So what I call the big four: self, relationship, work and outer world, and inner world and home, they're all being thrown in this major focus for your early degree placements. So this is a very big time of crazy crossroads for you all. Okay, so for early, middle, and late degree placements, we have the 11th house very much in focus. The 11th house brings into the forefront friendships, acquaintances. I call it the house of your tribe, you know, finding your like-minded people, groups, organizations, humanitarian efforts, all being pushed into the forefront. Also networking, internet-based projects. So if you've been wanting to get your business online, this could be a great month for that. We do have some energies of uncertainty to wade through, and I am going to go into more detail about that in the general transits. But as you find your certainty throughout the month, and mid-month and after this might be easier, then it's easier to take massive actions. But you really want to be clear first. So don't take action for the sake of itself. That's a theme that you'll hear me talk about more this month. Okay, so I'm going to drop in the charts just to show you the visuals of the things I just shared. Probably we'll do that for just a minute or two. And then after that, you'll see me back on for the video to talk about the general transits and how there's this strange combination of energies and what you can do with these potentials. Okay, so we're going to go into all that now. Okay, so here are the charts for early, middle, and late degree Taurus placements. So just a reminder, the early is basically the April born, or 0 to 9 degrees if you're watching for your sun, moon, or rising. And the middle degree placements are like May 1st through 10th, and that's 10 to 19 degrees. And the late degree placements are the 20 to 29 degrees, or around May 11th through the rest of the sign. Okay, so early degree placements, you can see right from the beginning, this Mars, this border collie of the zodiac, bringing focus, bringing attention to your second house of finances, resources, the material plane. You can see that, oh, whoops, that wasn't my one. You can see that Mars is still at the beginning of the month in the first house for you middle degree, and still further for the late degree. So as I told you, these energies of financial focus are going to be staggered. So a little bit more into the month, the middle degree will get it, and then the late degree will take a little longer, but it will. Towards the end of the month or into May, you'll really feel that. While it's in this first house, it's bringing more focus to your image, your physical body, your, your vehicle that you're going through life with, basically, and how you present that, your clothing, what you call yourself, what you see yourself as, how other people see you. So there's a lot of oomph in those placements there. So we talked about this very busy 12th house. Okay, and you can see that even for early, middle, late, you have it, but as you get closer to the birthday, see, this is going to travel there in a few weeks. This is staggered. The closer your birthday or the crossover of the sun is to, your Taurus point is crossing over, the more crowded that 12th house gets. So here we are right at the beginning of the month, very crowded for early degree, and then getting there. So those things I talked about of clearing your attic space, basically. Also, I wanted to show you that the sun in the chart represents what you want. And it takes a year for the sun to get back where it was when you were born. And that is called a solar return. And that's where the birthday wishes come from. So the sun represents what you want. And when the sun in the sky gets back to the point that it was at in your chart, it is more receptive to your wishes, which is what birthday wishes are about. So you can check out, if you search for Annie Making Wishes Come True, you can find my video that helps you to use these astrological power periods like your birthday to help make your wishes come true. Okay, we talked about strong focus in the 11th house. You can see that's full for early, middle, and late. And that crazy crossroads energy of Uranus here. The first house opposing the 7th. You've got Pluto here at the 10th opposing the 4th. I mean, this is just like crazy crossroads for early degree placements, coming much later for late degree, and starting to brew for some of you middle degree placements even this year. But it will take a while for the rest of you to get that. Okay, so I just wanted to drop in the visuals so that you could see what I was talking about. Now we're going to go back to the video with me, and I'm going to tell you my important pieces of information for the general transits this month, plus give you some important dates to note. So the theme for April 2019 for the general transits is the urge for action, but ... And I will explain in detail as to why I'm calling it that. So the astrological new year begins at the end of March each year, and at that time the sun moves into Aries, which is the astrological new year. Shortly after, or sometimes coinciding with, in this case, shortly after the sun moves into Aries, other personal planets, meaning the ones that are closest to us, start moving into Aries. So the sun will start out the month in Aries. Midway into the month, we'll have Mercury, then Venus is going to follow shortly after in Aries. So all of this action energy will make you want to do something. So adding to the drive for action, Mars is going to be in Gemini. Mars is how we use our energy, and Gemini is all over the place. And it's always really busy. It's thinking, it's talking, it's doing, and it's restless. So we've got Aries energy, which is among the most restless in the zodiac. We've got Gemini energy, which is among the most restless in the zodiac, combining together, and people are going to want to talk and move around and go places and do things. Plus, we will have just gotten out of a watery, Mercury retrograde covered month of March, and people are going to be ready for some action. So this energy all combined can be great for getting things done, but there is a hurriedness about it. And a recklessness, and sometimes not paying attention. So it increases the chances for accidents or doing something, slip-ups in ways that aren't positive. So you definitely want to be more careful, pay more attention, add some breath, add some consciousness to all of this oomph energy, because you really need to take more caution. This month carries some awkwardness in the way that, although we have all this fire energy and then the important air energy in the Gemini, there will be all of this like pent-up energy to do things. But because there's still energy in Pisces that's transitioning over, this water energy, specifically in Pisces, can bring more of an abstractness, like an uncertainty, an inner focus, and just really not feeling sure. So when you have the combination of like you need to do something but you don't know exactly what to do, then that can cause a lot of wasted energy, just putting a whole bunch of energy into something and then a couple of weeks later realizing, as the Mercury retrograde post-shadow transit energies shift mid-month, that actually the direction is completely different. So you're going to be chomping at the bit at the beginning of April and say, oh, Mercury is direct, time to do stuff. But I really want you to hear that in that first couple of weeks, try to find your certainty before you take action and commit. Mid-month is much better for committing, it's much better for certainty, it's much better for clarity. So the more that you can be sure about what you're doing instead of doing for the sake of itself, the better. And the more you can tune into the inspired action rather than action just for the sake of itself. So like tuning into what spirit wants you to do rather than you just being so whacked out that you have to do something. So, going to the gym, exercising, doing things that can get this energy out. But of course, be careful when you're doing those things as well, that it's not too aggressive and you don't hurt yourself. So definitely watch the signs and the synchronicities closely, because those will be the things that can help match you with the best path. The other thing that's going on this month is that Jupiter is moving into retrograde, and it's going to be there for months, okay? And when this happens, the expansion frenzy that was occurring before then starts to stop, basically. And sensitive people may have felt this even earlier, because there is a pre-retrograde transit shadow, or shadow transit, before Jupiter goes retrograde as well. So if you're finding that even in the open window of February, the end of January and February, if you were starting to slow down, your ambitions were starting to slow down, that could have been Jupiter getting ready to go into retrograde. And so during this time, having kind of a break from the long unbridled expansion spree can be of benefit, because you can take stock and evaluate. So pulling in carefully to evaluate the next steps is a really good move. It doesn't mean you can't do anything or shouldn't do anything. It just means if you naturally are losing your ambitions, then don't be concerned when Jupiter, it will come back, basically. Definitely economy of energy utilization is called for now. That's one of the things that Jupiter, especially in Sag, really wants when it goes into retrograde, is how you are spreading yourself thin and how you can condense your efforts so that you can be much more productive. So basically, fewer brilliantly placed actions that are supported by inner certainty are much better this month than just crazy haphazard action for the sake of itself. I really love this time for spring or down under fall cleaning, and I definitely love Marie Kondo's message to release anything that doesn't spark joy. This way you have surroundings and everything in your life with things only that spark joy. She's got 2 amazing books that I highly recommend, and this is an amazing time for taking action on things like that. Definitely vision boards are well supported at this time. So the new year, the astrological new year started at the end of March 20th, when the sun moved into Aries. But the New Year's kickoff party is when the new moon in Aries happens, which is on April 5th. So that's one of the best days of the whole year for a vision board, and the days around there and this time, it's really great for putting things together to help you figure out what you want to create this year. It's a really wonderful time for planting seeds. Something interesting about this month is that most of the days that have sweet aspects are completely coupled with days that have challenging aspects. So there's not as much of an easy time to say, this time is good, this time is challenging. You know, we've got a few days right in the beginning of the month where there's a series of sweet aspects, but then pretty much for the rest of the month, there's just like dicey, sweet, dicey, sweet, dicey, sweet. So just really, really tune in to how your personal flow is with these transits. That full moon on April 19th is definitely going to be very intense. It's a full moon at 29 degrees of Libra, so like culmination of relationship things. So definitely look out for surprises then. There are some sweet aspects that go along with that full moon, and there's also some dicey ones that go along with that full moon, but definitely very intense. So if you want a detailed list of the dates of each of the aspects and what goes along with those, you can sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. When you sign up for my free email newsletter, you also get access to my 28-day virtual coaching program, which is free when you sign up. So you can just go deep, deep, deep in with that. And then plus you'll get this written report in your inbox delivered a month early so that you can have a visual understanding of what's coming. AnnieHelpsYou.com, you can book a live reading with me. You can check out my astrology apprenticeship program if you resonate with how I do astrology and you'd love to learn with me. I also have some other wonderful vocational support courses that you can take, as well as subliminals to help train your mind to create the life you want. I've got all kinds of other goodies on my site. If you'd like written reports, astrology reports, horoscopes from me, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com for monthly written horoscopes that often have different information than is in my videos. And there are other blogs there as well too, natural lifestyle blogs. So definitely check those things out, and you can check out my husband's website, iamhelios.com, IAMHELIOS.com. He always has very interesting goodies there, and he does tarot and astrology as well. So I would love for you to check out my new book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days. This is an Amazon bestseller, and it is wonderful for anyone who really wants to shift their experience in life in a very simple but powerful way with this beautiful little book. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.